Share my screen here. So good evening and welcome to the virtual exploration for all Pennsylvania students sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counselor and StriveScan. PACAC is a nonprofit association comprised by more than 1,200 school counselors, college admission counselors, independent educational consultants, and other professionals responsible for guiding students through the important transition from high school to post-secondary options. Thank you for joining us tonight. And I just have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at pacac.org. The presentation is being recorded, and it will be available within about a week at this same website at pacac.org. So I would like to now turn it over to our presenters from Widener University and enjoy the session. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim, for the introduction. Welcome, everybody, to the Widener University session hosted by PACAC this evening. My name is Steve Fadouk. I'm one of the Assistant Directors of Admissions here at Widener University. We have a 45-minute session with you today, which will comprise of two different parts. First part, we'll be doing a Widener general presentation to talk to you more about what Widener has to offer, give you a little bit of a 1,000-foot overview, and then from there, we will transition to a student panel. So throughout the presentation, if you guys have any questions for myself or any of our current students that will be taking questions at the second half of this for the student panel, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll be able to answer them as we go along. So at Widener, our average class size is around 25 students per class. We have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and being a smaller institution, a big benefit of ours is we do not use teaching assistants, TAs, graduate assistants, GAs, whatever you want to call them, to teach our undergraduate coursework. So the same person that is, giving you the lecture is there marking the exam, proctoring the exam, there for office hours, there for questions before, during, or after class. So you're never going to have to go through a graduate student to get your question answered. We have around 3,000 full-time undergraduate students and an additional 3,000 undergraduate students. We have 40+ majors and 50+ minors, ranging from liberal arts to the hard sciences and everything in between, so there's always something to get involved in. Approximately 87% of our freshmen are resident students, and we do offer two big guarantees at the university. One is that we do guarantee housing for all 4 years, and another is that we do allow students to have a car on campus, including freshmen. So whether you guys are local and you're thinking, hey, I want to commute, or if you're from further away and you're thinking, is there going to be housing for me from freshman year to senior year? We have both options available to you. So Widener is Division III athletics. So we offer 23 Division III sports, ranging from a wide variety, including lacrosse, softball, baseball, field hockey, just to name a few. For those of you who are not interested in playing at the varsity level at Widener, we do offer a wide variety of club and intramural sports as well, including ice hockey and men's rugby. And brand new for us last year, we did have the introduction of our new esports team, which started last year in fall of 2019. For those of you who are seniors this coming year, we have two ways to apply. Our free online application is available at two places: the Widener application at widener.edu/apply, as well as the common application. Like I mentioned, both are free and there is no difference between the two. Seniors, you have the option to submit one or the other. The option is whatever you prefer. We offer two types of decision. Early action is one and regular decision is the other. Early action means that your application is in and complete by November 1st. You'll receive an admission decision from Widener by the Thanksgiving holiday, and any admission decision that you receive is non-binding, meaning that you have time to tell us yes or no. We don't expect you to tell us within a day or a week, whatever the case may be. If you do not fall into the early action deadline, you fall into regular decision, in which case your application is reviewed on a rolling admission basis, and you'll hear back from us within 3 to 4 weeks. For fall of 2021, students that are interested, so you seniors out there, we are test optional. So we understand that with the COVID pandemic going on, that there are a lot of students who were unable to take an SAT or an ACT, were only able to take one or not able to take a test at all. So being test optional, when you apply, you will need to submit your common application of the Widener app and your high school transcript and an essay, or your high school transcript and your SAT or ACT test scores. That option is totally up to you. Going back to the essay, I do want to mention that the essay prompts on the common application, all 7 of them, are the same essay prompts for our application. So regardless of which application you decide to submit, the essay will be the same if you decide to do the test optional applying route. Letters of recommendation are optional. However, if you would like to submit them, we'll gladly add them to your application for review. And we do accept AP, IB, and dual enrollment credits as well. So for any of you that are taking college level credits and are looking to transfer those into Widener when you start, we can absolutely do that as well. So this slide talks a little bit more of our tuition and room and board. I'm going to be honest, and no one pays that full sticker price. So that shop value, we're going to take that down a little bit. So when you apply to Widener, you are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships. Last year, the range for freshmen ranged from $18,000 per year up to $30,500 per year. Last year, also 100% of the students that were accepted into Widener that were freshmen received a merit scholarship within that range. So as long as you are a good academic standing student and are getting admitted to Widener, you do get a piece of that pie. Jumping a little bit further down, we do recommend that all families and students submit the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. That will make you eligible for not only federal and state need-based aid, but also Widener need-based aid as well. The reason that's important is if you come back to us after you receive your merit scholarship and say, hey, is there anything else that we can do to kind of cut into the cost of the tuition, room, and board? If we don't have a FAFSA on file, the short answer is no, but as long as we have that profile, we're able to continue that conversation and see what else you may be eligible to receive. So being a smaller institution, we pride ourselves on support services both inside and outside of the classroom. We start with your admissions counselor. So regardless of if you are located in Philadelphia County or Erie, Pennsylvania, we have a counselor who is assigned to you. Your admission counselor, once you apply, will be assigned to you and be your point person from the day you apply all the way to the time you hopefully enroll at Widener as a student. They'll be there to answer any questions that you may have regarding your application, visiting campus, or whatever the case may be. And that transitions to once a student is on campus as well. So whether you are thinking of working on your resume and you may want to visit our career design development office, or you're struggling on your math class and you want to visit the math center, or you need someone to look at your essay, you may want to visit the writing center. All of these support services and then some, and by no means is this a comprehensive list, are available at Widener. And like I said, whether that would be academically or not, we do provide these support services for anything that you may need from freshman year all the way to graduation. So some outcomes for the class of 2019, 94% of them were employed or within graduate school within 6 months of graduation. And the median salary for those students was $60,000 per year. And this brings us to the last slide. I do want to point out that this is a quick overview of what Widener has to offer, and soon we will transition to the student panel portion of this program. But I do recommend that if you are not already signed up, we do offer 2 virtual open houses, one on Sunday, October 11th, and the other on Saturday, November 14th. To register for either of these dates, you can go to widener.edu/visit us. And the reason I recommend that you show up to at least one of these 2 dates is that everyone will be available virtually on campus for you to speak with. So whether that's meeting with your specific admissions counselor, talking to your specific academic program, speaking with a member of Residence Life, our dining facilities, whatever the case may be, we'll have everyone available to you to answer any questions that you or anyone in your family may have. Additionally, on this same website, widener.edu/visit us, we are open to individual family campus tours. So you as a student will be able to bring up to 2 guests, and it will just be you, 2 guests, just your family on an individual campus tour. We do those on our main campus Monday through Friday, 5 times a day. And like I mentioned, you can go to widener.edu/visit us for those opportunities and to sign up for not only the on-campus individual family tours, our open houses, but also other events that we have going on through campus. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I am going to introduce our student panelists. So we have 4 students with us. We have Megan, Andrea, Sarah, and Erin. So I'm going to introduce them first, and I will ask at this time that if there are any questions throughout the presentation that I talked about or didn't talk about, feel free to put them in a chat function. And if you have any questions for our student panelists, please put them in the chat as well, and we'll be happy to answer them. So I will start with seniority. So Megan, if you could unmute yourself and just give a brief introduction of your name, your major, what you do, and then feel free to point to one of your classmates and have them do the same.
Sure, my introduction isn't normally brief, but I'll try my best. I'm Megan, I'm a senior biology pre-physical therapy major with a minor in Spanish. I'm also the president of the Pride Activities Council, the drum major of the marching band, and involved in wind ensemble and jazz ensemble. I'm also a member of the biology club. I'm a brother of Phi Eta Sigma and Phi Sigma Pi, and then I also was part of our alternative spring break program this past spring.
Awesome, and Erin, if you want to go next.
Okay. Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a junior visual and performing arts pre-physical therapy major with a French minor. I'm the vice president for Widener Dance Company, and I'm also a class teacher for Widener Dance Company. I'm part of the Pride Mentoring Program, and I am an 1821 facilitator.
Awesome, and Sarah, if you want to go next.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a junior psychology major with a minor in criminal justice, and I'm a Pride ambassador of Widener.
Thank you, Sarah. And last but not least, Andrea, if you want to go.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm a sophomore at Widener. My major is civil engineering, and I'm going to pursue a minor in environmental engineering as well. And what I do is I'm involved in the American Society of Civil Engineers and the Society of Women Engineers, and I'm a Pride ambassador of Widener.
Awesome. Thank you, girls. So we have some questions that are coming in. So we're going to start with Megan, as you introduced yourself first. One of the questions that we have is, do you have color guard participation as part of the band?
Yeah, so we have color guard participation for our marching band. We only do our fall season, but we also do have band camp, so you can play a wind instrument, percussion, or a guard.
Awesome. And I'm going to defer to kind of our students that are a little bit further away or came from us from further away. So Sarah and Andrea, you guys aren't from the Philadelphia area. And one of the questions that we have is, as a student, how safe do you feel on campus? So Sarah, I'll start with you. If you can answer, how do you feel safety is a priority on campus?
I have never felt like unsafe on campus. I know that campus safety is driving around, walking all around campus. They're kind of everywhere, which is a good thing. And we also have the blue lights too. So if you were to ever feel unsafe and no one was around, you could go up to them. But walking on campus and just even at night, I had a later lab that got done around 9 o'clock, and I've never had a problem walking back and forth.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. And Andrea, if you could answer the same question, how do you feel safety is on campus?
I would say exactly what Sarah said. I've had some late labs, and I've never felt unsafe before. I actually, probably the same with a lot of other students. I personally know like some of the security guards that work there, and they're really awesome. You can build great relationships, and the more comfortable you feel with them, the more comfortable you feel on campus. So for me, that's exactly why I feel comfortable, because they create such a wonderful environment for students and themselves, and everyone around. So
awesome. Thank you, Rose. So another question that we have coming in is, what is your favorite thing about Widener? Who would want to go first and answer that question?
I can go first. Personally, my favorite thing is definitely the smaller class sizes, because you really do get that personal interaction with your professor. It's kind of funny because I would always be the student that my chemistry professor would kind of joke with and make fun of, in a sense, but not really making fun of it, just having fun in class while using me as the dummy for it. So you really build those interactions, and you even I just visit professors when I have free time in their offices just to say hi and catch up. So I really enjoy that aspect.
I can go next. I definitely agree with Megan, but I would say for me, my favorite part is the fact that I get to like combine my arts major and my physical therapy pathway. And no other school that I looked at was able to give me that opportunity. So at Widener, I'm still able to pursue, for me, it's dancing, and still like get my education and knowledge in dance, but also get my education and knowledge in physical therapy. And that's just going to help me later in my career because I want to focus on dancers and athletes. So
I would say my favorite thing about Widener is that since I'm just just starting out to be a sophomore, when I was a freshman, right off the bat, I was able to get involved in so much, and with the networking that Widener helped me, I wouldn't be able to network if I didn't go to this small school. And I know right off of the bat, I had so many relationships with professors. I went to networking dinner events for like the civil engineering organization that I'm a part of. And it was such a wonderful opportunity to just get that networking right away.
I definitely like how everyone said the smaller like vibe on campus because that's definitely one of my favorite things here. It's a smaller community, smaller class sizes, but also just like our graduate students, like they have, I think it's about 3,000 to 4,000 undergrad students here, and it never feels like it's too small or too big. You're not lost in a sea of people either, which is super nice coming a long ways from home to just have a smaller community to feel more at home, like a new home.
Steve, can I add something real quick?
Yeah, go for it, Aaron.
Um, so with everybody talking about like how small the campus is and stuff, like that's definitely true and the class sizes are very small, but we're also only like 15 minutes maximum from Philly. So like you could go and have like total, city adventure if you want that, like go see, Flyers or Eagles or whatever games that you want to go see, concerts. It's all very accessible. And we're also not too far from New York or DC either. So we're in like this tiny little bubble where you do get the privilege of having like small class sizes and one-on-one, contact, but you're not like stranded from other life.
Stranded from other life. I like that. So a question we have coming in is, can you explain the kind of jobs and internships that you girls have on campus?
So, me personally, I have 3 jobs on campus. Being a Pride Ambassador of Widener, aka a tour guide, is one of them. I'm also an office assistant in the Office of Student Engagement, which is the home of our clubs and organizations. And then I'm also a student tutor as well. So I have 3 jobs on campus currently, but there are a lot of job opportunities for students.
Yeah, I second that. I have 2 jobs on campus right now, even though I'm working from home. So just to like throw in that tidbit is that Widener was really amazing in letting me still be able to keep my jobs and still get paid, even though I'm not living on campus right now. But again, like Megan said, I'm a Pride Ambassador, and I'm also a personalized student success team member as a mentor. So what that is all the freshmen this semester get assigned to a student in their major or school. And they basically just use us as a resource. So again, creating that like one-on-one connection and networking.
I'm also a Pride Ambassador of Widener, so a tour guide, and also I had pre-COVID, I had an office TA job in the physical therapy graduate building, which was super nice because most of the time I was able to get some of my studies done as well and still get paid.
And for me, I'll force that. I am also a Pride Ambassador of Widener, and a tour guide, and that is currently the only job I have on campus.
Other jobs can definitely include the Pride Recreation Center, the post office, the library. So you can literally find them anywhere.
Awesome, thank you, girls. So 2-part question. How involved are students on the weekends? And to that same regard, can you speak to the different type of activities that are available to students at Widener?
That should just go right to Megan.
Yeah, Megan, you can take the lead on this As I feel like you have a lot to say on these two topics.
I do have a lot to say. So there are a lot of events that happen during weeks. We also are trying to expand more our late weeknight and weekend programs. So my organization, Pride Activities Council, we are big on our bingos. We have a bingo every single month. We also do huge weeks where it's Welcome Back Bash, Spring Fling, Homecoming Week is a whole thing on its own. Right before finals, we have Stress Busters where we brought in like therapy dogs before. Last year, we brought in like maybe like 7-week-old puppies. Like there's so many things to do that we bring on campus, or also you can go off campus through our excursions, maybe at a ticketed price, but the price is always discounted towards our students, and that includes your transportation. And it's just a nice way to get off campus with your friends, but you can also do all these events as well. And even with us being virtual right now, we still get weekly newsletters of things that you can be doing virtually with different events that are happening.
I also think that you can check out the Pred Activities Instagram page if you have Instagram, and you can like scroll through all the events that we've had if you want like more examples.
Other organizations do events as well. I just know mine the best.
Awesome, thank you. So we have the party question now. So question is, would you say Widener is a party school? And if so, why or why not?
I think I maybe can input.
Go for it, Sarah.
I would say, so Widener is a dry campus, so there are no parties that are on campus. However, I feel like with all colleges, there are always off-campus parties. So personally, I didn't go to any parties freshman year, and I didn't feel like left out or excluded or anything, and I didn't really run into like the problem of like you're trying to sleep and next door there's blasting music and people screaming and whatever. So that was never an issue. But I also know people who, if they want to go out, they can go find a place to go hang out with their friends and stuff. Obviously not right now, but
I know for me, I personally, I'm being honest, I've never been to a party. And for me, that's how I want to make my college experience. It's really how you want to make it. If you choose to do that, it obviously at every college it's there, but without going to a party, you can literally have a wonderful year. I had a great freshman year, and I, again, never went to a single party, and I loved it.
There are a few parties off campus, but like Erin said, everything is off campus. I wouldn't say Widener is too big of a party school. I've been to a few parties here and there. I'm not a huge partier, but again, like both Erin and Andrea said, that if you don't want to party, there's so many other things to do on campus, off campus, like in Philly, or even in the local kind of like towns around here.
Awesome, thank you, girls. So we have a question, but I'm going to add on to that. So the question is from one of our guests is, how did it feel your first year at Widener? But I'm going to add on to that of, everyone kind of asks why you picked a Widener. My question is, on top of how did the first year feel, why do you decide to keep coming back and being a student at Widener? What makes you, enjoy where you go to school and come back year after year?
Okay, I want to start. So every tour that I give, I always harp on the pre-orientation programs, but Widener offers a few pre-orientation programs, which means that you basically get to start your freshman year before the rest of the freshman class. And I actually was forced into that because I couldn't make move-in day, but I ended up meeting some of the people that I'm the closest with and my closest friends. And you meet like so many different professors and like resources in academia that it's such a good experience. So I totally recommend checking those out. And then with like Steve's question, I guess, I originally chose Widener because they gave me the most money and because they gave me my major. But I kept coming back because I loved the small class sizes and I loved like the atmosphere that I could have with my friends and the fact that I was able to like really get involved in a dance company too.
Yeah, for me, my freshman year was really exciting because, of course, I'm not at home and I like being independent. It was a lot of fun because your first year is pretty much when you're going to build your group of people that you're going to spend the rest of the 4 years with. So like each year you just keep getting closer and closer. So literally my weekends consist of just playing Uno every single weekend with them and their friends that I made freshman year. Again, with the why I chose Widener physical therapy program, just what I wanted. That was what I was basing schools off of. But why I choose to stay at Widener is because of the professors. I don't think I would have had as many leadership opportunities as I have gotten here with everything that I'm involved in. I wouldn't have been able to do that at other universities I may have been looking at. And then also my friends, like I always think about it, like what if I didn't go here? Like I would not know any of these people and I'd probably be such a different person than I am right now.
I think for me, personally, since like freshman year felt like it was just yesterday for me because I'm still just starting up sophomore year. Um, Obviously my like spring semester got with my freshman year got hit by COVID. So I was able to, enjoy, get that awesome feeling of college even before, despite COVID. I still had a wonderful experience. What brought me to Widener was the faculty right away. I was already in touch with a few of the civil engineering professors before I applied to Widener, just by going to camps and, listening in panels and stuff. And I fell in love with the school right away. And for me, it was really the professors, because it was I was able to build those awesome relationships that I still have with them. So that, that helps a lot. And what keeps me coming back is, again, it's really those academics. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else doing pursuing a civil engineering degree. And I feel like I'm able to do a lot of different things on campus and know that I can get that degree as well.
I'm going to be honest, freshman year, or at least first semester of freshman year, was hard for me. I'm from Seattle, so coming out here, it was super hard just being that far away. Everything was new as a freshman in general. But by second semester, I really felt that I made the right choice in coming to Widener. My friends especially helped with that. I made friends very fast here. So that was a big part. And like the other girls said, the academics here, really top notch. I'm a psychology major and I've never disliked a psychology course. And why I chose Widener was actually because of the PT program. On the West Coast, there's not too many graduate or direct entry level physical therapy programs, and that's what stuck out to me at Widener. And also, like Erin said, the cost of tuition, Widener was one of the schools that gave me the most money. But what kept me here, I think, was the friendships that I made. I was actually thinking about transferring, but it was my friends that kept me here and the relationships that I built. And then also just because I knew that switching meant my credits would be kind of messed up if I were to transfer somewhere else, whether they're on semester or quarter system. I know that can be a hassle to transfer over as well.
Awesome. Thank you, girls. So next question that we have is, can you girls speak to the normal on-campus accommodations, so dorms, and what kind do we offer? And what type of dining facilities and options do we have on campus?
So food. Food's great. I personally really enjoy the food. Our cafeteria is like what you would think on a campus as like the main dining hall. We have our Pride cafeteria, and in there it's set up buffet style. And I personally think it has the most variety out of any of the other options. So I usually go there majority of the time. And then we used to have Subway and Burger Studio, but those are on their way out, and we're bringing bento sushi and tenders oven chicken. I'm not a sushi person, but it's exciting getting new options. And then we also have a Starbucks now on campus. We are getting like a healthy good eats flatbread kind of place. And then we have Moe's Einstein Bagel Bros, and then also Una Chicago Grill is part of our meal plan as well. So there are a lot of options. I just personally prefer the cafeteria, especially because they do a lot of specialty days. Like one time for dinner, they had a surf and turf night where you got like a steak with shrimp and then like vegetables and mashed potatoes. And then every semester, one night is crab leg night. And that is a big deal for me personally, but I really like the food here.
I agree. I always go to the dining hall for lunch, and like naturally there's going to be stuff that like you don't like, but because it's buffet style, like Megan said, if you don't like something, you can just go get something else, which is really nice. Like you don't have to worry about wasting your money because you bought one thing and it wasn't what you wanted. And then for dinner, I always use my meal swipe. So I either go to Uno's or Moe's or something like that. And I have yet to try this sushi place, but I'm very, very excited to be back on campus and get to try it.
I'll talk about housing for a little bit. So our freshman dorms are the typical standard freshman dorms. It's a double room. You have your bed, you have your armoire, a desk, and a dresser. The bathrooms you share with your floor. It's usually boys on one floor, girls on another, or in some cases, some halls have like girls on one side, boys on the other. And for upperclassmen living, we have a few dorms that are suite styles, and it could be from a 2-person suite style to even a 13-person suite style. And usually our metropolitan dorm, there's a kitchen, you have a fridge, a stove, an oven, a sink, and you have, I lived in a 6-person suite style, so I had 2 bathrooms and then 3 double suites. I know that in Harris, if the Harris Hall is a little smaller, so I think that only goes up to 4 or 6 people, but it's the same setup. And then we also have Dixon North and Dixon South, and that is also set up. The highest I think is 4 people, and they have a bathroom. It's a little different than Metro. They have a dryer and a washer instead of a stovetop and an oven, so it kind of just depends what you would like. But all of our housing is really nice on campus.
Also, to add on to that, just like random things, but laundry is free. You don't have to pay for laundry on campus, which is really nice. You don't have to like lug a whole thing of dirty laundry home, so you can use your parents' washing machines. And then your ID card that you get is what grants you access to like every building on campus, but it will only grant you access to the residence hall that you live in. So it's just kind of like another safety procedure that Widener has, since we were talking about safety earlier. So if you want somebody to come over into your room, you just go let them in. It's not like a big deal, but it does prevent people, like for whatever reason, just like random people walking into your dorm that don't need to be there.
I'm going to go off of, I'll just touch on residence life because Megan and Aaron did a good job on food. So I lived in an LLC, the engineering LLC, during my freshman year. I don't, maybe you guys have heard about that a little bit, but it's basically a living learning community that involves your major. You can also do things that are like the same interests. There's theme housing. So there's basically a lot of different ways you can live on campus with a specific group of people that share an interest with you. So when I was in the engineering dorm, I met a lot of different people. I feel like every night when I was studying, I met new people on different floors, just because we all had the same classes, so we all were studying for the same thing. And it was a really great opportunity there was a whiteboard in the lobby on the first floor, so we all just gather around, use the big whiteboard, a bunch of different markers, and just kind of stay up till like midnight, 1 a.m. sometimes, just, getting it done. So I feel like the LLC freshman year was a really good benefit for me.
Awesome. So moving to the next question, ignoring the cost of tuition, what is one thing that you wish you could change or improve at Widener?
I wish that there were more parking lots. There's parking lots, but there could be more.
But we do allow freshmen to have a car on campus, and there are lots. So.
Yeah, but there's also street parking, so you do what you want. I just personally wish there were more parking lots so I didn't have to try and parallel park.
I feel like this is a really hard one. I think I would maybe say, I don't know, I wish that the humanities department was a little bit more expansive. Um, I feel like there's definitely an emphasis on like the sciences, nursing, engineering, PT, OT, that kind of thing. Um, and I feel like there are other majors that don't get as much attention. But that being said, there's literally a club for each major, and being in a smaller major, I like, really know my advisor really well and get that one-on-one attention. So it's like a pro con thing, I guess.
I think for me, it would definitely be like athletics. Just because I don't play a sport at Widener, but we don't have that many club teams. They are there, but there's not as much as like what you would get at a bigger school. So I think one thing I do wish is that we kind of emphasize a little more in the club and intramural sports. Just because freshman year I didn't really know much about those two things. It was really more of just the Division III like varsity sports. So it would be a little nicer maybe if we emphasize those a little more.
I think that what I want to change kind of has already changed here. Meal plans for freshmen, you are required to have an unlimited meal plan your freshman year. But once you're an upperclassman starting sophomore year, you can change your meal plan to like maybe instead of 7 days unlimited, you could do 5 days a week and have the weekends cook your own meals since you have your own kitchen on camp or in your dorm. I think that was a really good change. And also with the meal swipes, instead of having one meal exchange, you can have 2 meal exchange during the day. So that also helped too.
All right, moving to another question. We have a fan favorite. So Andrea, you have a request for a question. How would you describe the civil engineering program?
That's a great question because I feel like for me it's only gotten better. I like with my classes, I actually have one professor, he's my advisor, and I have him for 2 classes this semester. And I feel like I've only gotten like closer with him. Him and I are literally like attached to the hip. We email back and forth all the time. I feel like the professors are astonishing. I really wouldn't want to be anywhere else. They're so close knit. They email fast. If you ever have a question, if you need help, they're right there for you. I'm even connected with almost all of them on LinkedIn. So even after graduation and during college, I know that I can reach out to them whenever I want, and they're always there to help whenever you're confused.
Awesome. Thank you for that insight. I do want to just let our participants and guests know that we are at the 5-minute warning for our session today. So if you have any last final questions for myself or any of our 4 student panelists, please put them in the chat now. But we do have kind of one more question along the line for Andrea that you were talking about your professors. The question is, how are your professors?
I would say since now, like freshman year, I met a lot of different professors because I took gen eds. Like I had an English class, so I had an English teacher. But going into like my major specifically, they were, especially because we're online now, and even before, they have such a wonderful, like organized way of teaching. They would just go through, PowerPoint slides that are pretty easy to understand, and they elaborate really well in class. And if you're ever confused, you can just simply ask them for help and a little more clarification. I personally would say being home, I've had to, work a little harder to understand the material because again, being at home, there's a lot of distractions. But again, I have a study group that we have a Snapchat group chat and texting with all my civil engineering friends that are in the same major, and we just kind of communicate. And communication is the most important part. That's how you're going to get the best out of your professors, and they're going to get the best out of you. So.
I agree. I would say, again, another perk of having small class sizes is that you do get to know your professor, but your professors also get to know you. So you're not just like a face in a sea of like 300 students. Like your professor will know your name. My music professor, who's also my arts professor, who's also my advisor, literally asks to see my dog every day before class. And so it's really nice that you get to have like those connections and you get to feel comfortable going to office hours. And I would also say that I don't know if it's just a small school or just Widener or I don't know what, but your professors are also people too. So they're not just like gonna lecture to you and then like assign you all this work. Like they're gonna ask how you are. They're gonna be real with you. Like, hey, I have a lot going on right now, so you probably also have a lot going on right now. And like they're recognizing that we're all living, especially right now in this circumstance, and that I don't know if any of you guys know Miss Nikki, but like what she was saying was like you're not just doing your classes at home, but you're at home doing classes. So like acknowledging that other people probably have jobs right now or have more responsibilities than they did on campus. So especially like that shift, I really pride our professors on doing a good job.
Yeah, I love my professors. Like, I'm so close with them. Last year, I think I had every single one of their cell phone numbers just because we don't like doing the email thread. And also they were just like, if you ever need anything, reach out. For like when we turned to virtual in the spring, they had to completely restructure everything and they made it so prepared. They took like the short amount of time that they had to move everything to online courses, and then preparing for this fall, they had two contingencies plans, one for in-person, one for online. So they planned two different forms of the fall semester so students would still be able to learn what they needed to. And like last spring in one of my courses, we were collecting something for a research project and not everyone had the material. So my professor literally sent every single person the materials that they would need directly to their house at his own cost. And it like that just shows how much they do care about you and care about your success. Yes, you may get a tough teacher, but also you need to keep in mind that it's college. The courses are tough. So it's just how it might be with the material that you're learning. It's like they're still a great person. They just might be kind of that tough love kind of relationship with the actual material, but outside of class, it's like, hey, you're great.
I also know we're running out of time a little bit, but what's really important is when you're in high school, right? It's a little awkward. You might feel like if you're not close to your high school teachers, it's kind of awkward. You're not really supposed to be able to talk to them outside of class, like on social media or anything. It's weird. It's not normal. But with college, that completely goes away. That all that awkwardness and that not close knit relationship with with those teachers you had in high school, the game is totally different. And take advantage of communicating with your professors and building those relationships, because if I wish someone told me that, but I had to learn that freshman year that it's okay to have a different kind of conversation outside of school with your professor. So
Awesome. Thank you, girls. So we're running into the 2-minute warning. So one final question in 10 seconds or less. Can each of you give one piece of advice for a high school senior that you would tell yourself looking back? Andrea, we'll start with you since you were the last to answer.
I would definitely build a LinkedIn profile. You can start your networking right off the bat. And especially build it Facebook. We have Facebook groups for Widener. When you first come into college, you can get into freshman group, like your class, and you can find a roommate, meet some friends. So that's exactly what I would do if I had the chance again.
All right, thank you, Andrea. Sarah, we'll go to you next.
I would say don't settle. I know that right now it's a lot of pressure for you guys trying to find the right school, probably parents' inputs, friends' inputs, but don't settle just because it's close to home or what go out of your comfort zone. And because if you do, that'll probably give you the best experience.
Erin, we'll go to you next.
Ask all the questions, go to all of the events. If you think that a question is stupid, it's definitely not. Just ask everything and get all the information that you think that you could need.
And rounding out the night, Megan, one piece of advice for our students?
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You may think that icebreakers are like silly, and you might want to hold yourself back a little bit. Don't do that, because then you're not going to get to know about other people. They're not going to get to know about you. So how are you going to connect? And also, get involved in some way, shape, or form. There's always going to be an opportunity to get involved, whether it's at the beginning of college or throughout your experience there. You can always get involved in some way, shape, or form, and it's literally going to make your college experience so much better.
Awesome. So thank you, girls, for being part of this presentation. Thank you to all of our guests today. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions that we didn't get to tonight, or any questions that you guys think of down the road.
Great. Thank you, Steve. On behalf of the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling, thank you to all of the students and families who have attended this session. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, so we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. And this was just one of many sessions we'll be hosting over the next 4 weeks. So be sure to sign up for additional sessions at PACAC, that's PACAC.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session recording online also at PACAC.org. So thank you very much to our panelists and to everyone, and have a good evening.